I have a challenge for you. And my challenge is this: write a book that heals the world. That's my challenge. When you go on my social media, when you go anywhere where you find me, that's the challenge I have for you. Why? Why a book? Well, the easy answer, the low-hanging fruit answer, is that ideas shape the world. Like every single thing that you can think of that is physical or non-physical, like this pen, the notebook, my water bottle, this computer through which we're speaking, every single thing that you can think of was once an idea. And that idea was born inside a person's brain, inside their mind, right? First, it was maybe just observations, and then it coalesced, and all of a sudden it turned into an idea. Oh, I can do that. And then what did they do? They take that idea and then they share it with one other person, right? That is a so they transfer the idea with words to someone else's brain. And what happens to that idea inside the other person's brain? If it's communicated with clarity, it becomes a seed. It plants itself and then it grows. It kind of like implements itself into that person's other ideas. And then maybe it morphs a little bit. Maybe it changes, it grows, right? So that idea grows in that other mind. And as it grows in that other person's brain, it also grows in your brain. So when I share an idea with you and that idea expands inside your mind, it also expands inside my mind. So it becomes more. Creation is just a two-step process. That's it. Just two-step process. That's what creation is. And what are the two steps? Step one, you imagine it. Step two, it builds so much momentum in your imagination and it becomes so real that it then has to break through that wall of physicality and become physical, become real in the physical world, right? An idea germinates, it grows, it becomes an idea in one mind. It's then shared with another mind. It grows, it becomes more. And now it's building momentum, right? That idea is building momentum. Now, if you're surrounded by people who are yes and people, the people who support your ideas, who allow your ideas to grow, think of that person in your life where you come to them with an idea and you're like, hey, what if we could do this? And they are that person who says, oh my God, that is amazing. Yeah. And then we could do this. And then we could do that. Before you know it, within a half-hour conversation or a 1-hour conversation, you have this full-fledged, boom, beautifully imagined thing that is so real now, right? So those people are magical beings in your life. They are the people who help you expand those ideas. You want to share your ideas, especially at early stages when they're all tiny and fragile, with those people because they will help the expansion of that idea. Now, it becomes bigger, right? And it becomes more substantial. Now there's more momentum, there's more mass to that idea. Now it's shared with a bigger group and it's substantial. It again expands inside the bigger group's mind, and as a result expands inside my mind, and it becomes bigger, and eventually it becomes so big that it can no longer be in the non-physical space, and it has to become real in the physical world. That's how creation works. And now here's the thing. There's no better idea sharing device than a book. What happens when someone is reading your book? They're literally ingesting your words into their brain using their own voice. That's telepathy, as close to telepathy as we can get. That's as close to mind control as we can get. You have the power to influence someone's thinking with your book. And when you change someone's mind, you change their life. That's powerful. Think back to the times when your life has been changed. And I'm willing to bet there was a book somewhere in there involved, right? Ideas change our lives, and books in particular have such a powerful idea transmitting device, because the book, when you spend 5, 6, 8, 10 hours with a book, you're able to really understand that idea on a deep level, because you're inserting it into your brain using your own voice, integrating it into your own thinking over a period of time. It's different than a video. It's different than having a conversation with someone. It goes deeper. Very powerful. And there's another added benefit to writing a book that is often overlooked. And I see this with my clients all the time. And that benefit is, in the process of writing a book, you gain clarity about your own ideas. So you have to become very curious about yourself when you are writing a book. You have to become very curious about your ideas, and you are working on expressing and explaining and defining and refining those ideas as you're writing that book. So by the time your book is done, your ideas are so clear, your thoughts are so clear. This is actually why so many leaders and thought leaders and speakers have books. We think that a book gives them credibility. No, a book allows them to refine and define their ideas in such a way that they can communicate it with clarity, and then they go and do that. And that makes them a lot more effective on stages. This is why speakers who have books can charge more. They're able to express their ideas with more clarity. It's just what happens. It's literally a side effect of writing your book. And I see it because as I am helping my clients write their books, even like a month or two into that process, they will go and redo their websites. They start getting more business. They start closing more deals. Why? Why does that happen? Because they're gaining more clarity. They understand their ideas on a deeper level. They connect with their own concepts, with their own unique point of view on a deeper level. They're able to access the stories that demonstrate their ideas more readily. They're able to tell these stories with more clarity because they've done it in their book. It's just a powerful, powerful thing that happens. And I really think that you should be writing a book. Now, I have an ulterior motive when I say that, right? Because recently I decided, and this is why we're launching this show over here. Recently, I've decided that I want to help healers and lightworkers write their healing books. As many of you guys as possible. We want to gather an army of healers and lightworkers. And if that's you, you really should be writing your book, because here's what's going to happen, right? This is the vision. And I want you to receive this vision. And if it's in alignment with what you're creating, please join. Healers and lightworkers. Your voice, your wisdom, your teachings need to exist in book form. Counter darkness. We need to show people how they can turn on the light within themselves. Because when darkness is present, when fear is present, then we are susceptible to fear-based programming. And there's a lot of fear-based programming in the world happening right now. And it is limiting us as a society. The solution, however, is not battle, because fighting, war, and peace are mutually exclusive. You will never get from war to peace. Impossible. The same way that you will never get from darkness to light. Impossible. What do you do when a room is dark? You turn on the light. You don't endlessly talk about the dark, because the dark becomes irrelevant when the lights are turned on. The dark stops to exist when the lights are turned on. So conflict, war will stop to exist when peace is turned on in our own hearts, right? So our job as healers, light workers, to give people the tools to turn on the light within themselves so they don't stumble around in the dark. That's our job. And my vision is that we will flood the world with healing books. And the good news is that those people who are creating all the darkness and the conflict, they're not even going to pay any attention to us. They're not, because they don't believe in this stuff at all. So we can do all of this stuff as openly as possible, write our healing books as openly as possible. They're not going to read any of our books anyways. They're going to look at us and just dismiss us until we reach a critical mass with our books that shifts the vibration and the consciousness of the planet in such a way that conflict becomes no longer an option. It becomes irrelevant, the way that darkness becomes irrelevant when you turn on the light. This is my covert operation. And if you are in, I would love for you to be a part of it. Just go to myauthoracademy.com. And this is very new, you guys. Everything that I know about writing, publishing, marketing, and leveraging your book, everything that I've collected over the last 20 years of being in this industry, I am sharing for the purpose of flooding the world with healing books. That's our mission here on this show and in the Academy. I love you guys so much. Send me your questions and comments. You can connect with me at Brave Ellie or at My Authors Academy. And you can join me on this mission at myauthoracademy.com. I will see you there, or I will see you next time on this show.